Double talk with Darian Durant. Thanks for taking the time, man. Appreciate it. And you know what? I'm going to be the first one. I'll be the first one to say it. You called it, Darian. You said Trevor Harris was coming back to the green and white. And he did, signing last week with what is allegedly a team-friendly contract. What do you think that says about this group?
They're committed to winning. And, I look at it. I've always said, man, sometimes it's better to stay in a place where you're comfortable, stay in a place where you're winning. Your surroundings. It's better to take less than to go to an unknown situation. And if you lose in that unknown situation, your career could be shortened. So I'm a big advocate for guys to stick together, try to win as many championships as you can, especially if you've shown that you have the team to do it. If you can keep the nucleus together, if everybody can take a small pay cut, you'll make enough money in the playoffs and in that Grey Cup game to more than suffice for what you'll make going somewhere else. So I think it's a great job of Trevor, taking a little bit less, try to get some of these other guys signed and keeping this nucleus together.
We had Wes Cates on not too long ago getting his thoughts on this, but now that you've locked in both Tommy Stevens, your short yardage specialist, and your starting quarterback, what is your next top priority? Is it the O-line for protection? Is it the receiving core? What would you say if you were in that decision-making seat?
Well, I'd start with the secondary and make sure Tavon Campbell is signed. I mean, the guy tied for the league in interceptions. He's shown that he still has a lot of juice left. I think that if a guy can run a 4.3 in his 20s, he can run a 4.4 in his 30s. So he's still showing that he can move. So I look at the secondary and keeping those guys together. Roland Milligan, getting those guys and that back end. It's so important to have that continuity back there. So I'd start with the DBs, and then I go to the receivers and look at this Canadian, the depth, get that back intact with Emulis and Schaefer Baker. So I definitely go to the skill positions. I feel like, at O-line, even though we had some guys up and Big Yosh won the Offensive Lineman of the Year award, I think that, once you get those skill position players locked in, then you know exactly what you're working with to tie up those front guys.
Okay, just to back up for a half a second, Darian, when it came to the discount or the hometown deal or whatever you want to call it, when it comes to the number that's attached to Trevor Harris's contract, is it a point of pride to be asked, hey, would you mind taking a little less just so that we can go ahead and sign up guys? Because I'd assume it's a fine line between a point of pride to being a slap in the face.
You know what? At this stage in his career, I think Trevor can look at all the guys before him, right? All the veterans. You could go back 20 years ago, and it's all about being in a situation that's best for you. He's played a long time. He's been a starter in this league a long time, so I'm sure he's made a lot of money. And at this point, it's about him staying healthy, being in an offense that he knows, where he can pull the trigger when he needs to, and having the guys around him. He's built such good chemistry with these receivers. So I don't think he looks at it as a negative. I think that if anything, he knows that if he's going to win another championship, it's right there in Saskatchewan with the guys he just won it with. So I wouldn't look at it as a negative at all. I look at it as, look, man, it's about keeping the pieces in play and making sure all the guys are together while you make another run at it.
So you had amazing chemistry, right, with Getzlaff and Bagg and Dressler, and again, the list goes on. Fantuz, I can't believe I didn't say Andy Fantuz, but are you then, as kind of a collective group then, talking about how can we make sure that this stays together and that we can keep this ball rolling?
No question. That's definitely what you have to do. I mean, it's all about winning at this point. And like I said, Trevor's played a long time, so why not default some of that salary to these younger guys who may be entering their first opportunity to get a big deal that could be life-changing for them. I mean, he's in his 14th year, I think, and he can definitely. And I don't like to count any man's pockets. That's not what we do as players. But I feel like at this stage in his career, he's in a position where he can make sure the guys around him can get financially secure and make sure this team is together.
A lot of talk this week about potentially Dante Myers has been working out for some NFL teams. You'd have to think that Keyshawn Johnson is going to get the same opportunity should he choose to go that route. When you, in your experience, have had guys that have gone down pursuing an NFL opportunity, does that change the player that they are, whether they come back or not, perhaps? Because we've got a saying in hockey, right? When you go up and you play at that next level, one of two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to realize that I can be here and I'm going to be motivated to get here. Or the other thing that can happen is I'm never going to get there and that's it.
I mean, it just depends on the mentality of these guys. I think it's always good to know in the back of your head that if it doesn't work out down south, that you always have a home or you have an opportunity to play for any of the teams up in Canada. So I think that's a plus. But you know what? It just depends on the guy. It depends on what his goals are, what his dreams are. Some guys, their ultimate dream is to play at the highest level, and they'll do any and everything they can. They'll exhaust every option they have to make sure that happens. So it really just depends on those guys. But I see probably those guys giving it a shot, but I see at least one of them being able to come back and making another run with the Riders.
Andy Fantus back in the day had that opportunity with Chicago, and it seemed different when he came back. Wes was telling us last hour, he said, you know what, he came back and he was banged up, had a new playbook, then he wanted to go back home and play, and that was kind of what changed him. Did you see that in Andy Fantus at all?
You know what? I think so. Looking back, I think I did see a little bit of change in him. And you have to understand, it's a totally different game. I mean, especially for a slot receiver, when you go down south, now you don't have the waggle. You can't take advantage of the pre-snap things like you could down there. And you can kind of get caught up in playing a different ball game. And it did seem that way when he got back. But, you understand why, because you have to learn so much in order to make it down there. You may lose an edge of what it took to be successful with the waggle in Canada. So I definitely could see that happening.
Before we reveal the answer to you, do you want to take a guess at what his 50 time or his 40 time was when he when he did out of the combine? You want to take? I went 4.7. I went 4.6, right?
I went 4.5.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's my guy, and I don't want to be disrespectful.
No. Wes Cates went 4.75.
Wes said 4.75. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hope Andy doesn't hear that. Oh man, I would go high 4.6s, 4.68, 4.69, something like that.
Curtis, do you want to reveal the answer? Oh, just a sec. He's got to change
his headset.
Yeah.
I got to change the headset. So when he was coming from the Western Mustangs, he ran a 5-second flat.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have believed it either. Never in a million years.
Wow. I asked Andy about that. I'm going to call him tonight.
But Wes said right away, though, he goes, okay, so fine, that might have been the time, but you would never guess that he would play at that speed, right?
Yeah.
Just because of what he could do with his body.
Never. I mean, there's no way anybody in this world can play and have success with a 5 40 and play the game at that same speed. It's not happening, especially at receiver. So, it's totally different for him.
So maybe he had like a stone in his shoe or something, probably, right?
Wrong cleats? I don't know. Something.
Man, sometimes these guys, I mean, when you're running a 40, you come out of a 3-point stance, right? So usually as a receiver, I mean, you're never putting your hand on the ground trying to run and be explosive and run as fast as you can. So a lot of the 40 is about technique. And if that's something that you're not used to, then it's hard to get down. So I wouldn't put much on that at all.
What was your best 40?
My best 40 was 4.61. And that was young doubles, right? 21, 22 years old. By the time I got to the CFL, I may have been at a 5 flat.
No, come on.
Not buying that.
Just kidding.
Not buying that.
Yeah.
Tell me about in the CFL. So Keon Hatcher has signed the league's leading receiver, is going to stay in BC, and he's maintaining the relationship that he has with Nathan Rourke. Do we see that more and more in today's professional game in the CFL with guys trying to maintain the relationships they have as opposed to maybe searching for that big payday?
I think you'll see that more and more for sure. I mean, that's your key to success, is being with the guy who gave you success in the first place. And, unless you're a Kenny Lawler or you're just one of these all-world receivers that can just do what you do any place you go, I think it's best if you just stick with your quarterback, stick with the relationship and chemistry that you guys have developed. And if you do that and you have success, then everyone gets paid. Everyone gets to reap the rewards of that. So you'll see that more and more. Chemistry is so underrated. I think from the outside looking in, a lot of people don't understand how important it is. And once you've built that in live game situations, you better stay in place because, speaking from someone who's been to another team and has had to develop relationships with other receivers after being with a certain group of receivers for a long time, it's so hard to do. So I would advise anyone to stay where you are, take less money for the time being. And if you're winning, everyone gets paid.
See, that's the Madden mentality, though, right? Because when you're doing the fantasy GM and playing the video game or whatever, right? You look at their number. Okay, this is what the numbers are going to bring. This is how they're going to interject. I go to 2013 with you, Darian, and G. Roy Simon comes in. Again, Hall of Famer. You know what he brings to the table. Was the chemistry there instantaneously, or did you have to work at it?
We had to work at it. I mean, we had, I'm not sure if I connected with G-Roy. I would have to go back and look, but I don't think I threw a regular season touchdown pass to G-Roy. Nope. I think we finally connected in the Grey Cup. So it takes so much time to build chemistry. I've been working with Dress and Getty and Bag and Andy for so long. I just know these guys inside out. I know what they're going to do. I know how they break their routes off. But with G-Roy, of course, I see him on film, but it's different when you're actually out there on the field and you're trying to develop that chemistry. So it takes time, and it showed during the 2013 season. I mean, we really didn't connect it to the Grey Cup.
And at times during that year, I don't want to say it didn't look awkward. That's far be it, but it just looked like there was so much rapport that was being built, right? It's like you go to school with the same handful of kids all of your life, right? In the receiving corps that you mentioned, and then all of a sudden a new kid moves in from a new school and you have to go ahead and sometime and find a way to interject and insert him in. Is that accurate? I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah. No, I get the analogy, trust me. But, and it was hard for him being such a productive receiver in BC, right? Coming in, knowing that Dress was already there, Getty was there, Bag was there, guys who already were, the top options on the team. So it was definitely hard. I'm sure he didn't voice it. Man, G-Roy was just a consummate pro, and didn't complain, didn't say anything. And you would believe that he had 1,000 yards as well, the way he carried himself in the locker room. So, I mean, for him to basically just sit back and try to get in where he fit in and not try to cause a scene and just be available when his number was called. I mean, that's just amazing for a guy that's accomplished as much as he has to go to another team and just take the back seat. That's really unheard of. So kudos to G-Roy, man. That was, I had a lot of pride as a player, and it was very hard for me to take a back seat towards the end of my career. So for him to do that, man, it was just special.
So how does that championship pedigree, right? We hear that, right? So you want to surround yourself with champion. You look at the 2025 Saskatchewan Roughriders. They go ahead and they bring in players that have had success and have won championships. In 2013, again, you bring in G. Roy Simon, maybe for that same reason. Does that really have that big of an effect?
Absolutely. You want guys who don't get rattled. I mean, no matter the situation. I mean, you look in the Grey Cup, the team didn't fold. Montreal was driving, going down to score a couple different times, and the defense came up with big plays. You see Tavon Campbell with the strip on the goal line on a quarterback sneak. I mean, just little things like that is what you mean by that championship pedigree. So you want guys who have been there, done that. They understand the game is not too big for them, and they show up in clutch situations. So it's definitely a thing, and those are the guys you want to play with for sure.
Darian, it's no secret that the CFL maybe is stuck in the past a little bit in certain areas of the game, pardon me, or the league. I mean, I'm not throwing Stuart Johnston under the bus here or anything, but I mean, next year we're finally getting an app for the league, and it's 2026. One of the things that he has addressed, however, is getting the schedule out early, and it gets released tomorrow. So for fans, that's huge, especially in Rider Nation. People like to, people plan their lives around the CFL schedule, but the team does have that additional home game. It's a Toronto Argonauts home game, but it will be hosted at Mosaic Stadium. Then they're also doing a preseason game in Saskatoon. So advantage or distractions?
No, I think it's good. Get the schedule out. Allow the fans to plan around. You have a year in advance, pretty much, and give them a chance to just give the league a chance to get these stadiums full across the country. I mean, especially on the East Coast, you want to see, Toronto and Montreal and all these other teams. You want to see them reach their potential when it comes to their revenue and their fan bases. So I love the idea of getting it out early. Let fans pick out a game that they feel will be very important for them to attend. And, a guy like me, I can plan myself to come up early as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the schedule holds and seeing three matches unfold. And guys will be fired up about it. I mean, especially teams that felt like they could have been in the Grey Cup or should have been in the Grey Cup. Now they get a chance early on in the season to see the team that put them away.
They are starting the season a week earlier. I know you're a cold weather football guy. How do you feel about that?
I mean, if you're going to go to these outdoor Grey Cups and you're not going to play indoors and weather may be a factor, then I think you want to start the season a little bit earlier. You want to make sure that even though it's Canada, you don't want a game as big as the Grey Cup where the whole world and part of the states as well will be watching. You don't want weather to be an issue. So I like the idea. And even though football is a cold weather game to me, I think in October, November, you'll still feel some remnants of what that cold outdoor football back old school football is about. And you'll still get that. So I like the idea of it starting a week early.
Do you as a player take a look at what the season is going to be like and try to start processing again, right? You take care of your body. You were prideful in taking care of your body and ensuring that you were hitting your prime and peak on game day, whether that was mentally or physically. Did you start looking ahead and analyzing, okay, we got a real short week this week, so I got to make sure I do this, and then, here's a long week, anything like that? Or does that just take it as it comes during the season?
A little bit of both. I think you have to prepare for whatever the schedule is and, how the schedule makers, how they constructed the season. You have to be prepared for that. And at the same time, you look at it, you see if you have some games that you feel like you can win early. You kind of put the pressure on yourself and say, okay, well, we have, and this is no disrespect to these teams, but you say, okay, we play Ottawa and Toronto early. We have to make sure we get those games so that when we get into the western part, if you have a heavy, western back end of the schedule, then you want to make sure you take care of those games on the front end. So you have to look at it and dissect it and make sure that you're aware of every. We like to break it down into quarters. You're aware of every quarter of the season and what you need to do and how you feel like worst case scenario your record should be when you come out of each quarter.
Okay, so do you remember at all or any point in your career, because before the CFL went to adding bye weeks, which I think has been great for the product on the field and the health of the athletes off of it, in my humble opinion, which could be wrong, but back in the day, do you remember there was a time where you could play a Thursday game in Hamilton and then a Monday in Toronto? Do you remember those days? Were you ever a part of any funky scheduling like that?
Absolutely. We had a 4-day break on a East Coast swing where we weren't even able to come back to Saskatchewan. We had to stay out east. And, I don't think that's good. I think we had one bye week when I played, but I love it for the product on the field. Like you said, it makes sure guys are healthy. It makes sure you have to think of the business model as well, right? The CFL is only successful if its best players are healthy, if its best product is on the field each and every week. So you want to make sure you take care of guys. And I'm sure there'll be some short weeks for a lot of teams, but that's just a part of the game. But for the most part, the league does a great job in scheduling these buys at a good time and making sure the guys are rested or can heal up as quickly as possible to get the best product on the field.
Do the players have any input in the schedule? I don't know. I know. I would assume that not even the PA at a high level, no?
No, I think it's more so about the facilities and if, there are any prior engagements at, you look at BC Place and, the schedule, the stadium out in Toronto, in these bigger cities, sometimes these stadiums have prior obligations. So you have to build the schedule around when the stadium is available. So I think that goes comes into the picture more so than anything else. The players, we just see the schedule when it's released, just like everyone else, and then we go from there.
Do you want to start at home in week 1, or do you want to be on the road?
I mean, if I'm the defending Grey Cup champ, I want to start at home. I mean, there's no reason for us to go on the road. But, if you haven't earned that right, then I think you just have to take what the league gives you. So for Saskatchewan and the only way I see Montreal going on the road is if it's a Grey Cup rematch. But other than that, I feel like the teams that finish the season the best and end up in the Grey Cup, they should definitely start the season at home.
We did get a message on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, and it sparked a good thought. Leonard was just saying how it doesn't feel like it's real. Doesn't feel like the Riders won the 2025 Grey Cup. When did it set in for you after the 2013 victory? Did it take all off season, or when was that wow moment?
Not at all. I mean, I guess the biggest difference was it was right there in Regina. So, yeah. I mean, everywhere you go, I mean, you look left and right, you're reminded of it. So, it may be I think it's surreal because of the past couple years and how the season has gone. The seasons have gone, the disappointment, dealing with the Chris Jones era, and then coming into Craig Dickinson, and then, the switch over to Corey Mason. It just seemed like it all happened so fast, right? So, I can definitely see where Leonard is coming from with that suggestion. But, it's real, man. And it's one of those moments that you guys can hold on to forever. And, I'm actually looking forward to next year. I think the Riders, if they can keep the pieces in place and keep the guys together, I think they can go back to back. So I'm really looking forward to next year. I wish it would start tomorrow.
Well, you were right about Trevor Harris, so I think we should clip that and give him all the credit when they run it back. No, real quick, I think we do have to get going pretty soon here, but I did just want to get your take on the NFL this past weekend. Any games that really stuck out to you? We don't need to go down the road of the Cowboys, and you definitely don't need to talk about the Bengals, but I just wanted to get your biggest takeaways.
Well, I think we see how strong the NFC North is. I think the Green Bay-Chicago game went down to the wire. Those are two of the better teams in the league. And then with Detroit beating up on my Cowboys, Detroit kept itself in the race. So the NFC North is strong. And I think, if they can get 3 teams in the playoffs, I think you better watch out because they're playing some good football right now.
This sounds bad for me to say it out loud, but it's kind of refreshing to not just see the Chiefs running away with their division for once.
Yeah, I think you get tired of seeing them win sometimes, right? It's kind of like that Brady effect. I mean, you love Tom Brady just like people love Mahomes, but at some point you want to see another king get crowned. So I think we'll see that this year with them struggling for sure.
Do you think the Chiefs' window is closed?
I wouldn't say that. I think they started off slow. I mean, they had a lot of injuries early on. Rasheed Rice was coming back from the suspension of, when he got in trouble with the car accident. So I just think from the beginning their chemistry wasn't there. But look, if they don't make the playoffs, which they still have a chance to, you'll see Andy Reid and that front office go back and regroup and put the right pieces around Mahomes to make another run at it. So I don't think the window is closed. I just think that they're just having a bad year.
Well, Andy Reid took the brunt of that last night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what good coaches do, right? They don't point the finger anywhere else, right? They take it right on the chin.
If I'm hearing Darian Durant correctly, I think that he's saying that Travis Kelce can just shake it off into next year.
Dave.
Yeah, he could go ahead and ride off into the sunset, man. He's secure. He has the number one woman in the world, and why not just ride off? He had a great career, man. Hall of Fame tight end. So just go ahead and call it quits before you hurt yourself.
Yeah. You think he's done? Really? I was kind of making.
I'm just saying what I would do. I'm saying what I would do. I mean, especially that you're with Taylor Swift. Like, just go and tour the world.
Yeah. Go have some fun. Take some time off. Damn, you've earned it.
Yep.
Watching Eagles and Chargers tonight, by chance?
Oh, yeah. I want to see if the Eagles can bounce back. I mean, everyone's talking about their struggles offensively. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, and, I want to see him bounce back. So I'll definitely be tuned in.
Cool. All right. Doubles, I think we got to let you go, but we appreciate the time as always. Always a good chat.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.